halfway point in our chat that I have coughed through. And yeah, thanks, Dragweed. Gotta start putting a reminder. That's on my to-do list. Put a reminder on my phone for mid-August to start taking my Zyrtec early. So if you're new, at the halfway point, we go at, yep, and Sandra's right on time. At the halfway point, we're gonna go ahead and get some water. So I want everybody to get a sip of water while I get a sip of water, and try not to start sneezing. So everybody get a sip of water. Also, how stinking cute is this? Casey made, she's making Halloween and fall themed coffee cozies. I don't know what she calls them, but this one's a candy corn. So since I'm not going to spend the points on candy corn, I got one of these to go on my, it's great if you have a hot beverage to keep from burning your hands, but if you have something that's cold, like with ice or whatever, it actually helps to keep it cold a little bit longer. And it's so cute. Okay, I'm also going to go ahead and put on the apron because we are making something tonight. If you are new, these chats are 1 hour long, and the first 30 minutes of the chat is always classroom about whatever the WW topic was for the week before. So the first half of the chat is always that. The second half of the chat is hopefully something that y'all think is fun. Sometimes it involves cooking. Tonight it does involve some cooking. I have pre-made most of the things though, just because we didn't need to run over the 30 minutes, and just in case I started coughing. But we are continuing with our theme from the last couple of weeks about hashtag bulking it up. So if you've been with us any length of time, you know that I used to have a little sign, and I swear I think it was just like a little two-sided piece of scrap paper that I wrote on, and I think I had it stapled to a straw so that I could pick it up, and just turn it around, and it said hashtag bulk it up. That was one of the very first hashtags that I did when we started doing this a few years ago. But hashtag bulk it up was just my reminder, and I used to keep it in a pen holder. So like a little pen, it was a cup that I kept pens and things in near where I was cooking, where I was journaling, things like that, just to remind me, oh, you know what? Don't just eat that little, whatever. Well, thank you, Vicki. Don't just eat that little whatever, go ahead and bulk it up, because I eat with my eyes. I mean, I love the taste of things, but Sylvia's old. Sylvia's been around a long time because she remembers that. But I eat with my eyes. Like, I want to see a lot of something. So even if the lot of something isn't really, that much food, I don't know. I just like to see a lot. So I definitely eat with my eyes. So the hashtag bulk it up for me is about making a bigger presentation just to make it look like I have more food. It is, oh yeah, Sherry's got to get rid of the grandkids so they can make it to school tomorrow. Good night, Sherry. But it's about making a bigger, and Kim does too. Yep, Kim's been around a long time too. It's about making a bigger presentation for me. It's about filling myself up. They're usually higher fiber food, so it does help to fill you up, so you get full faster. And so this, if it's a big salad or whatever, it just looks like more food, and it does, fill me up. They usually contain more. It usually contains more water, so that's another way to get some good hydration going. Usually things that are going to help you go potty, and we do have chats for that. If you need any help with constipation, we do have that. Oh yeah, okay. Vicky's got to have quantity and quality. There are some things that now I try to choose quality, but I'm an all about quantity girl, or I have been in the past. You could give me a big thing of bad fries, and I would eat it over a teeny tiny thing of really good fries. Okay, I'm learning to not do that. And now if you hashtag bulk it up with the right things, you get to add back points. So if you're brand new to the Weight Watchers Personal Points Program and you did not know that, you didn't know that you could add back points, that is whether I use them or not. And some of you all don't use them, and I do not use mine every day. And I try to use them on food. I try not to use them on like a bag of Skittles or something. But I love adding back points. So I think it's so fun to watch the points add back. Like you get down to like 0 for the day or -3 or whatever, and then eat a big salad, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 you're back to 0 or like +1, like you've got an extra point left. But anyway, so it just, I don't know, it does a lot of things if you can if you can hashtag bulk it up, you know, some of your meals. So last week we did hashtag bulk it up breakfast. Hello, Julie. Yep, they just finished their dinner. And I'm sure it was yummy. Everything you make looks yummy here and sounds yummy. But last week we hashtag bulk it up. We did a breakfast bowl. Okay, Vicky, that's perfect. Vicky uses her extra points for extra salad dressing. Perfect. That is a perfect use of your extra points. The week before that we did Taco Tuesday. This week we're doing some meal prep. So I called it. It's called hashtag bulk it up meal prep edition. This is not just about meal prep. It's meal prep and also some of the shop your pantry things that we did this summer. And so I'm using some things that I found in the freezer. I'm using some things that we had left over. I'm using some of the last of some of the veggies out of the garden. So this is kind of a combo thing: shopping your pantry, not being wasteful, and oh gosh, what was I going to say? And yeah. Oh, and meal prepping. Yeah. So this is going to make my meals. Now, y'all know I won't end up eating this every day. I will not end up eating this every day this week. So I don't. Yeah, and Julie bulked up for dinner with lots of broccoli. That is awesome. So I'm going to make a lot of food. I'll probably eat it tomorrow, and I'll probably eat it the next day. But y'all know me. When I prep, I'll eat it for a couple of days, and then I got to move on to something else. So that's where the super cubes are going to come in handy. When we get done tonight, I'll be freezing some of these in the 2-cup. This is a 2-cup super cubes, and I'll keep them here in the freezer at Casey Kitchen Center while I'm at work, so that, you know, here in a week or two, whatever, and I'll think, oh, I want to circle back around to that and have that, you know, to eat. Same theory applies as the last 2 weeks. So the first thing I'm going to have you all do. Oh no, yeah, John's still not feeling very good. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, John. I'll see you in a little bit. See you in a little while. Okay, the first thing is pick a protein, and I can't believe it. I did not bring my protein out. I'm going off camera again. What is this? This is the second time that I have walked off on you all tonight. Hold on just a minute. So obviously, I needed to put this on my to-do list. So, first thing is pick a protein. I still had plenty of the Gardein. I didn't thaw it out. Nothing like being live and letting y'all watch this. Okay, so pick a protein. So I'm gonna pick the Gardein meatless crumbles again. You can pick whatever brand you want to. Boca's pretty good for the meatless crumbles. The Trader Joe's meatless crumbles are actually pretty good. I like them a lot. Sorry while I hack into this. It would have been great if I could have let it thaw out just a little bit. We don't need much for tonight's presentation, and I can always heat up some more. But so the first thing is pick a protein. I am picking this. I already had it. Didn't have to buy it. Got it out of the freezer. I'm just going to heat it up just a tiny bit in the microwave. So this protein is, let me find it here, 17 grams. So there's 17 grams of protein in 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to heat this up real quick in the microwave. Okay. So that's my protein. You could use chicken. You could use beef. You could use beans as your protein if you wanted to. You could use tofu. Didn't want to freak anybody out by using any tofu. But this is the Gardein brand plant-based ground beef, BEF. You can use it for tacos, shepherd's pie, bolognese. Every family favorite starts with the perfect ground. But it has 17 grams of protein. It's gluten-free. It's delicious. It does feel like ground beef. So I'm going to use that as my protein. So first thing is pick a protein, just like the last 2 weeks. Okay, and you can see that it looks just like ground beef. I think it was two for me. 2 points. Carol wanted to know how many points. I think it was 2 for me. Okay, then I want you to pick a carb. The carb that I'm going to pick this week, and we're going to start assembling all of this in a bowl. The carb that I'm going to pick this week is not 0 points for me. So the last 2 weeks, when I picked a carb, I picked something that was 0 points. Like 2 weeks ago, I think I picked, what did I pick 2 weeks ago? Beans, maybe? No, what was it? Beans and corn. I picked beans and corn 2 weeks ago because those were 0 points for me. Last week I picked potatoes because I had switched from, Carol, I had switched from beans and corn. I had switched to potatoes being a 0 point food. This week my carb is not 0 points for me. So, and it's not even whole wheat or, anything like that. This is real, not whole wheat pasta. So my carb this week is going to be pasta. You could do something, and you don't have to make the same thing I'm making, but my carb this week is going to be not 0 points to me pasta. And this is just a spiral pasta that I get at Trader Joe's. It's 4 points for, I believe, a half a cup. So this week I decided not to let the carb be one of my 0 point foods. Okay, so there is my carb. And again, if you want to pick something that's already 0 points for you, that's fine. I decided not to. So there is some not 0 point for me carbs. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is pick 2 0 point foods. So one of my 0 point foods is also going to be one of my non-starchy vegetables. So I'm going to pull out something and see if you all know what this is before I break it out. Who knows what that is? Who can tell me? We still got like 16 minutes, so y'all have a chance to guess, but who can tell me what that is? That was fun spinning around there. Okay, come on. No guesses. Yes, exactly. Marianne finally guessed. So, yeah, y'all must be on a 2-second delay. So, Marianne guessed correctly. It is spaghetti squash. So, this is spaghetti squash cooked in the air fryer. And you cook this on 360 for 30 minutes. That's exactly right, Joni. So it's 360 for 30 minutes. You're going to cut it in half. If it's easier for you to microwave it for a couple of minutes first, just to soften it up enough to cut, you can do that. But then once you do that, scoop the seeds out of the middle. So after you've cooked it on, you're going to cut it in half, put it face down in the, you're going to put it face down in your air fryer. If you need to bake it, you're going to have to look for directions somewhere else because I only know how to make it in the air fryer. But once you've done that, and whoops, I accidentally left a couple of seeds in here. I will tell you the air fried spaghetti squash seeds are also delicious. So I'm not going to get rid of those. But once you air fry the spaghetti squash, and again, it's 360 degrees for 30 minutes, 360 degrees for 30 minutes. Check it at 25. Once you do that, you'll never go back to any other way of making spaghetti squash. And there is already a chat for this. I forgot to write it down. So sorry, maybe Jessica will find it. But there is a chat for this. And there's also just a YouTube video on just how to do this. So if you go to youtube.com and search If You Have an Egg, you will find this YouTube video that shows you exactly what to do, like start to finish. So once you've done that, once you've cooked it, just use a fork. And when you use the fork, you're going to shred it like that. And I know like Julie eats a lot of, Julie, isn't it you that eats a lot of spaghetti squash? Pretty sure it is you. People who do use it as spaghetti, you can eat it by itself. Spaghetti squash, here, I'll eat a little bite for you. It's got like a nutty flavor. I love it. Just with some, like toss it with some Parmesan cheese or some nutritional yeast or something. It's great by itself. I love the flavored spaghetti squash. It's one of those easy to hide vegetables. Like if you've got picky eaters in your family, and if they're the ones that are like, no, I see a pea, or something, this is easy to hide. So spaghetti squash is easy to hide on that. So we're going to pick, so the next thing was we picked a protein, then we were going to pick a carb, which we already did, and then we were going to pick 2 0-point foods. The first one is this spaghetti squash. So I'm going to put this spaghetti squash in here. Okay, yeah, and Julie said, yep, we're having it tomorrow with my husband's marinara and her chicken breast meatballs. Julie said chicken breast. I'm just kidding. That's an inside joke. Okay, so one of my 0-point foods is going to be the spaghetti squash. Okay, and the other 0-point food that I'm going to use is I had some yellow squash left from the garden, and then I had some mushrooms left from last week. So I'm going to add those. So I've got mushrooms and spaghetti. I've got mushrooms and yellow squash, leftover yellow squash. So remember, I'm still going to make y'all keep talking about not wasting things. So that was the last of a couple of things, out of the garden. So now we've got our carb is regular pasta. So pick a protein. I've got in this cup. I'm going to finish that here in a second. And that is the Gardein meatless crumbles. Pick a carb, regular pasta in the bottom of the bowl. Pick 2 0-point foods. The 0-point foods I'm using tonight are spaghetti squash, mushrooms, and yellow squash. I actually picked 3. Then you're going to pick 2 cups of non-starchy vegetables. Okay, that is so that you can add back some points. But you're going to pick 2 cups of non-starchy vegetables, and I'll show you what I'm choosing for that here in just a second. But I want to show you one more thing that I'm going to do with this. I had put marinara. I had leftover marinara, and I had put it in the half cup super cubes months ago. It just says 2022 on the bag. And then after you freeze them in the super cubes, and remember the super cube affiliate program, pretty please, when Jessica posts this, if you all wouldn't mind to use that link if you're going to order anything. But these were super cubes, and sorry, I left them out and put them back in, so they got a little bit of ice crystals on them. But that is just marinara. That's literally just marinara that I had left over from one day. And it sounds like Julie's gonna have that opportunity when they make theirs tomorrow night. Froze it in the super cubes, have had it in the freezer. I've been digging out of it. Vicky, actually super cube. Okay, so Vicky wants to know if super cubes stain with tomato products. I've not had that problem because I clean it out as soon as I get it out. But Super Cubes posted, and I shared it on Facebook. They had posted how to get, like, if you got any stains or smells, in there, because it's silicone, how to get that out. And it was interesting. We'll have to go back and talk about that in a few minutes. But I'm putting 2 of those marinara in there with that meat sauce. Okay. And I just put those in a big mug so that it would be easier to, pour that out. So a quick review of where we're at so far. Regular pasta. You can use whole wheat pasta. You could use all vegetables. You could use some other kind of, hello Barbara. You could use some other kind of, if you wanted to use like spiralized vegetables, you could do that. You do not have to use any pasta, but so far I have regular pasta. So it's just regular, not even whole wheat pasta. Then I have a spaghetti squash, and you can see I still have a ton of spaghetti squash left. And I accidentally left some of the seeds in there, like 4 seeds, but they were pretty good. I ate one of them earlier. Let me see. I may actually have to roast some of these because they were pretty good. They taste just like the spaghetti squash. Pretty darn good. But you can see one spaghetti squash, and this wasn't a huge one. One spaghetti squash is probably going to make, let me see, if I had to guess, that's probably, with what I already have in there, like 5 cups maybe. Julie, have you ever measured it? to see how many cups of spaghetti squash you get out of like one average sized one. I'm gonna guess this is probably at least 5 cups. And spaghetti squash is considered a non-starchy vegetable. So far we've got regular pasta. Then we have the spaghetti squash. And again, the spaghetti squash, there is a YouTube video, just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, and then find the spaghetti squash tutorial on how to do that. But it's 300, so you're going to slice it in half, and then you're going to lightly spray the back of it just so it doesn't get burned in the air fryer. Scoop out the seeds. You're going to want to scoop out the seeds and put them in something else. You could save them. Yeah, okay, so Julie hasn't measured how many cups, but she bought a smaller one for the 3 of them, and it makes a ton. She's exactly right. It makes a ton of spaghetti. But then it's cut side down after you've scooped the seeds out, and it's 360 degrees for 30 minutes. It's so easy, and it's funny, when I went back and looked at the recipe, it even says this is so easy it shouldn't even really be a recipe, because it literally says cut the spaghetti squash, scoop out the seeds, turn them upside down, spritz the back of them, 360 degrees, 30 minutes in the air fryer, boom, 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 and you're done. Okay, so we've got that. Then we've got some mushrooms and some yellow squash that I had the yellow squash left over out of the garden, and yes, Vicki, I lightly spray the back of it, just of the spaghetti squash, just to keep it from burning. You do not have to spray the inside of it. We're going to let that heat for just a little bit longer. So on the mushrooms and on the yellow squash, oh, Southern California, it's raining and they have thunder, Julie says, and she said that never happens. You know, it happens here all the time. Like, this is only the second week in weeks that we haven't had thunder and rain during a chat. Well, congratulations, Julie. But the mushrooms and the yellow squash, literally just sliced them, put them in the bottom of the air fryer, spritzed them with some olive oil, just some olive oil spray in my Evo sprayer. Just spritzed them with some olive oil spray, put a little bit of nutritional yeast on there, and I think I did like 300 degrees for maybe 10 or 12 minutes to make the mushrooms and the yellow squash, because it didn't need to be in there for very long. And then I'm waiting for that to heat up so that I can show you the piece de resistance. We only have like 6 minutes, but I want to show you what I'm so excited about eating for lunch tomorrow and getting put into my super cubes. Okay, so again, marinara sauce that I had left over. Oh, and Barbara's got rain, but no thunder yet. Okay, so I had marinara sauce that I had put into the half-cup super cubes and had those in the freezer. Okay, and to that, oh, it's so garlicky. I completely forgot that I had added garlic to this marinara sauce. That smells so good. So, oh man. So that was marinara sauce that I had left over, and I had added garlic to it, and now it's got the meat sauce in there, and now suddenly Dusty's head is up. So, and he's licking his lips. So he can smell this. All of a sudden, he's very invested in what we're doing all of a sudden. So we've got pick a protein, the Gardein meat, then we have pick a carb, and the carb is regular pasta, and pick two 0-point foods. That was the spaghetti squash, the mushrooms, and the yellow squash, even though that's 3 0-point foods. And now pick 2 cups of non-starchy vegetables. So the marinara sauce, I think the marinara sauce was like 1 point for a half a cup, if I remember correctly. And I just realized I didn't write that on the bag. That would have been a great thing to write on the bag. But to this, because these are the last 2 that I had left out of the garden, I'm going to add 2 slices of end of season tomatoes. So y'all know how much I love my mom's end of season tomatoes recipe. That is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and you just use tomatoes from the end of the season. So now I have actually ended up with 1, 2. Remember, I can lick my fingers because it's just me eating this. So now I've got 1, 2, three, four. I've got like 4 cups. Now I'm not going to eat this whole thing, okay? But I have like 4 cups of non-starchy vegetables. So guess what? The pasta just went away. The pasta that I put in here, that was 4 points worth of pasta that I put in here. It's 0 points now because I just negated all of the points with all of these yummy vegetables. So a little bit of marinara sauce with some garlic in it, some Gardein beefless crumbles. You can use any kind of meat. You can use tofu. You don't have to have anything. And yeah, Vicky, I know the way it smells, I probably could eat all of it right now, but that is the perfect way to hashtag bulk it up. Look at this. This isn't even one of my half bowls. I went ahead and used a giant bowl because I'm going to mix all of this together before I put some of it in the super cubes. So I'm going to get all of this mixed together, get it all prepped and put into my super cubes. I'm going to have some of this for dinner tomorrow night. I don't know. I may go ahead and eat some of it tonight. But go ahead and, you know, put it in the super cubes, get that in the freezer so that I've got it for, you know, for a couple of lunches next week. But that is a perfect and simple way to hashtag bulk it up. Take what would have been, you know, a little dinky meal and make it into something fantastic, and it's delicious, and look how pretty that is for your eyes. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead and get all this cleaned up, but if you are watching this on YouTube, I hope you'll just let that next video roll over. I promise you'll enjoy it, and go ahead and click subscribe. I would really appreciate it if we get, you know, a few more subscribers on here because it just helps everybody. You know, and we've had quite a few new people who found us through YouTube. So yay! So we've got some new people to our group that found us through YouTube. But let's see. And Vicky, a serving size is whatever you want it to be. If you wanted this to be a serving size, so Vicky asked what a serving size would be. Literally, if you wanted that to be a serving size, I've got this back down to 3 or 4 points now. If you wanted this huge bowl, is that not crazy? Because of all the vegetables that I added. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and you know, share with a friend, let somebody know, and if you make something like this, let me know. I'd love to know what you make with it. I'd love to know how you hashtag bulk it up. So y'all have a great week. I had another good time, and yay, I've got food prep for at least a couple of days. So y'all have a great evening and an even better week, and I will see you next time. Good night.